Right, guys, thank you all for coming to ADC's first seminar of 2022 in our new gym. Appreciate you all coming. Hopefully you can take some nice golden nuggets today for you to take home and apply on a daily basis to get you the best results. So today the presentation is on how to get the best results, and we're covering numerous things such as nutrition, physical activity levels, sleep, etc. Okay. So first things first, we've got some upcoming events for you all. So the first one we've got is obviously today's seminar, how to get the best results. On the 1st of April, we've got Nuclear Races 6-week challenge. So basically what we're going to be doing is a 6-week challenge. We're going to be training for the Nuclear Races, which will be on Saturday the 14th of May. So Nuclear Races is like Tough Mudder, similar, more obstacles but less running. Hands up if you want to participate in the Nuclear Races with us. All the coaches are doing it, so no one wants to do it? All right, cool. But yeah, we've got Nuclear Races coming up. Sunday the 1st of May, we've got a level 3 PT course. So if you know anyone that wants to get qualified as a personal trainer, let us know, because our course starts for that as well. So yeah, these are our upcoming events. We'll try and make a few more of you to sign up to Nuclear Races. I know some of you want to do it, just maybe don't want to put your hands up right now. All right, cool. Next slide, please, Connor. So yeah, this is our class schedule, our current one. So we do yoga on a Monday evening. Does anyone do the yoga classes here? Sejni, anyone else? Deepa does it? Sometimes, yeah. So that's on Zoom with Alex. We've got the adrenaline class on a Wednesday. Who's turned up to an adrenaline class? Yeah, how you found it?
It's good.
Good, yeah? Enjoyed it? Tough.
I don't know if enjoy is the right word.
Yeah. Afterwards, yeah. So Wednesdays are our adrenaline class, 7:30. Saturday, 10:15 is our other adrenaline class with Penny. And then Sunday with Coach Vaz, we've got our adrenaline/mobility stretch class as well. All right, so try to make the most of these events and these classes, and these will help massively with your results alongside your PT sessions. We've got a referral bonus. So if you refer a friend or a family member, you get 1 month free membership. So this is a new incentive we put on in our new gym. So you guys could be saving a whole month of your membership if you refer a friend and family to us as a way of saying thank you. So yeah, that's our kind of referral bonus we've got going on at the moment. So if you know anyone that's interested, let us know, and you can save yourself 1 month membership. Next one, Connor. That's me done now. Cool, now I'm going to introduce you to our studio manager, Connor, who's going to take us through the whole seminar.
Right, guys, so as Chris spoke about, today's seminar is all about getting results, okay? Obviously, we've had a hard couple of years. We haven't done one of these seminars. When's the last time we did it? 3 years ago? Pre-COVID anyways. It's something we did every year, and we think is very beneficial for you guys. Obviously, we see you in your sessions. We do your accountability with you as well. But we can't really go in depth with it. So this is our chance to do a deep dive into how to get the results and how to do it the ADC way, and show you guys, how you can get the best results for you. So, without further ado, anybody know what's the most important factor when it comes to getting results for, let's say, body fat loss? Somebody just tell me. Shout it out. Nutrition, right? Cool. So thinking about nutrition, the main thing you need to be aware of, and this is the fat loss pyramid, is being in a calorie deficit. So majority of you know this, right? We've spoken about this before, but this is really the main factor, okay? If you think about the science of it, calories in versus calories out, that will be the main thing. And we usually say to people, calories are king, and the next thing is protein is queen. So these are the things we bang on to you about a lot, okay? But like I said to you today, we're going to go into it a little bit more. Cheers, Pack. We're going to go into it a little bit more today, okay? The next thing is about food sources. So what we mean by this is the quality of your food. Research shows that if you have a better food quality, so whole foods rather than processed foods, you will actually increase the amount of body fat you are losing as well. So trying to eat clean when you can. Obviously, we know this isn't sustainable all the time. Yeah, we say to you guys, have a flexible diet. So 80% of the time, if you're really good, if you want to go out on a Saturday night, have a drink, have a cake, etc., that's fine. Obviously, don't go mad, but as long as you've in your calories, like we've spoken about, then you can do that because it's sustainable over a long period of time. You see a lot of people now go on these crash courses where they'll diet really hard, and yes, they will get great results. But in a year's time, is that person still getting those results? Probably not. Okay, so this is all about being sustainable, and it's about having a lifestyle which you can maintain over a long period of time. Mealtime is something else. So, for example, let's say you've had a really hard workout. After that workout, that's your time when you can gorge out a little bit because you've used a lot of energy. Yeah, and then lastly, supplements. So, for example, getting your protein shake at the fuel bar after your workouts. These are the icing on top of the cake, but it's not going to be the be-all, end-all. Okay. However, none of this matters if you don't have the right mindset, okay? So that is the main thing. Yes, nutrition is most important. Of course, training is important, but it's all about the mindset. If you can have a growth mindset where it's like, a lot of you guys come here for results, right? Everybody wants to look in a bikini, get a six-pack, get some muscles, whatever the case may be. For whatever reason it is, your mindset is going to be the main thing for this, okay? If you say to yourself, right, I've committed now, I want to make sure that I get these results, and I want to do everything I can, all the steps possible to get there, then it will happen. However, if you have a fixed mindset where it's like, oh, I've done this for 6 weeks, I'm going to give up now, or etc., then it's not going to work. You need to stick at it, and you need to stick at it consistently over a long period of time. We say to people, and you'll know this within yourselves, let's say if you haven't been looking after yourself for, 3 years, as it were, do you really think it's going to happen overnight, or in 6 weeks' time we're going to get these results? It does take time, but we promise you, if you stick with it, these things will work, okay? So, moving on to the next slide. So we spoke about energy in versus energy out. The main thing for body fat loss is, anybody want to tell me? What's the main thing for body fat loss? Oh, come on, guys, help me out. I've been up since 6.
Calorie deficit.
Good man, calorie deficit. Well done. Thank you, my man, helping me out. Come on. It's going to be a long night otherwise, guys. So calorie deficit, okay? 200 to 500 calories lower than your BMR. BMR stands for basal metabolic rate. So that's the calories you burn on a day-to-day basis. As you can tell with me, I burn a lot of calories because I can't stand still. And obviously in the gym, you can see I'm moving around a lot. Same with the coaches. We burn a lot of energy, okay? So therefore, our BMR, our calories we burn on a day-to-day, is going to be very high. Hands up, you've got office job. Yeah, don't mind, not getting a shout, just hands up. That's it, good, right. So majority of you do have an office job. Even now, we're sitting down, right? So think, are you really burning a lot of calories throughout the day? Probably not, okay? So therefore, you need to be mindful of your nutrition, of how much energy you're intaking. Next, if you're in a surplus, for those that want to gain a bit of muscle mass, so boys, I know you want to gain a bit of muscle mass, right? Is that you need to be in a calorie surplus. So eating more calories than you are burning throughout the day. So, for example, let's say I burn 2,500 calories a day. I need to be eating 2,700 to 3,000 calories every day for me to build muscle, okay? And this is all going to be dependent on you, yeah? So it's not the same for everybody. So all these diets that are like, 90-day plan and it's generalized for everybody, that's fine, but it needs to be individualized for you and your lifestyle, and that's what we do here. Okay, macronutrients, the next part of what we spoke about on the fat loss pyramid. So how to change your BMR. So at the moment, for those of you who do have an office job, let's say you're not very active outside of that, then you're going to have what we say a lower metabolism. Like, people say, oh, you must have a really high metabolism, how can you eat all that, etc. Think about what that person does. So for me, you might see me, every now and again having a digested biscuit in a fuel bar, something like that. But it's because I'm burning a lot throughout the day that I can get away with these things. But if you're somebody that doesn't burn a lot of calories, if you have an office job, etc., then you need to be a little bit more careful about that. So, daily protein goal is, people know this as well, so 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. So think about your body weight, that's the amount of protein you're consuming. Obviously, the higher you weigh, this is going to be harder to reach. But this is going to help massively, and we're going to discuss that in a moment. And as we spoke about, your BMR is your average calorie burn. Right, who knows who this man is? It's not Chris, don't worry. It does look like him, though. Anthony Joshua, right? So, Anthony Joshua, big guy. He's quite lean, though, right? Yeah, you wouldn't say he's carrying a lot of body fat. How many calories do you think he consumes a day? 4,000. Anybody else? Higher, lower? 6,000. All right, it's gone again. 6,000. Higher? No. Lower? Who said 5? Good man, Yash. 5,000 calories, okay? This is on average. You're not always going to be eating that, right? 5,000 calories per day, yeah? Majority of us, if we ate 5,000 calories per day, we'd put on a lot of body fat, yeah? The reason he can eat 5,000 calories a day is because he's burning a lot of calories, yeah? So think about what he does throughout the day. His training's hard. He's going to be burning a lot of that energy. Also, he's carrying a lot of muscle mass because he eats a lot of protein and he trains a lot of weights. So therefore, his body turns into a bit of a fat-burning machine. The more muscle mass you have, the more energy you're going to burn because the muscle mass is going to take up a lot of that energy consumption, okay? So this is why we bang on to people about eating a lot of protein. I get a lot of members come to me, and the other coaches do as well, and people are really focused on their weight. This is a bit of an old school mentality. People worry about their weight too much. If I said to you, you're going to weigh the same, yeah, but you're going to be, you know, shredded like a ribeye steak, you wouldn't be too worried, would you? He weighs 18 stone, yeah, but obviously he's very lean. So when you're building muscle mass, obviously your weight's going to go up. Muscle weighs more than fat, so you've got to take that into consideration, okay? But the more muscle you have, the more energy you're going to be able to consume. These are some of our results. You might recognize a few of them, okay? Not everybody, but what do you think the majority of these people, and we've got loads more as well, you've seen them all over the socials, the website, etc. What do you think the majority of these people did to get these results? Calorie deficit, yeah? What have those putting on muscle though? Like this man over here. But yeah, you're right, okay? Calories, yeah? Cool. Anything else?
Lots of protein.
Lots of protein, good. Anything else? One more.
Training.
Yeah, training, right? So we offer, standard is 2 times a week personal training, okay? But as Chris said, we've got classes that we do 3 times a week now, and also extra activity outside the gym. If you're somebody that works in an office, let's say, for 8 hours a day, but then you only do 2 sessions a week, yeah, you've got to think, are you doing enough outside of the gym as well to really get the results that you want? Don't get me wrong, when you're in here, you'll work hard, I know everybody trains well, but you've got to think outside of the gym now, are you really giving it everything as well, okay? So, we're going to get down to that bit in a section, in a minute, sorry, but what we're going to speak about is tracking, everybody's favourite topic, yeah, because everybody loves to track, don't they? What I want to give you guys, a little case study, okay? So, this is Paris, okay? This is his weight here on the ADC app that you guys have seen. He wouldn't let me show his pictures, he got a little bit shy, but he did very, very well. But I just want to give this as a bit of an example. I know weight doesn't matter, but it's a good example of how this affects things, okay? So, if we look, this one, top left, okay, so where he was weighing nearly 90 kilos, let's say, November the 1st, he tracked hard all the way up till Christmas. He had December the 1st. Then what do you think happened? Yeah, he stopped tracking, right? Christmas happened. Whoa, party, I've done really well, got a 6-pack. Yeah, and it's all gone a little bit downhill, okay? But this is an example of how tracking does make such a difference sometimes. And his other measurements went down as well, but this one just showed a nice little pretty graph for me. So if we look at it, okay, on MyFitnessPal, when we look at what's happening with your tracking, and this is where you guys can use tracking to your advantage, is look at it, if you do track, and think, right, okay, I've eaten this food now, what does it mean? So when you look at this one here, I know it's a little bit small, but what sticks out for you with these, if anybody can see it, more people at the front maybe, what sticks out for you?
Well, Fatty went to Nando's.
Yeah, Fatty went to Nando's, yeah. He did go to Nando's, yeah. More carbs, yeah, which is usually going to happen though, because carbs is going to be your main source of energy. So carbs, you're usually going to consume more in grams.
Calories are disproportionate across the meals.
Yeah, but that's going to happen, right? Breakfast, lunch, dinner are going to be a little bit different. Anything else? So he had protein, if it works, boom, with every meal, okay? Obviously the protein for breakfast wasn't a lot, but if you look at his lunch and dinner, it's large amounts of protein, and then he snacked around it. So we say to people, try and spread your protein out throughout the day. Who eats breakfast? Okay. So not everybody though, and we get like a lot of people that don't eat breakfast. We say to people, have breakfast and have a high protein meal for breakfast because it keeps you fuller for longer. So if you are trying to burn body fat, having protein for breakfast, you won't be like ravenous. After work, when you get back, you're like, oh, like, you know, you start grabbing for everything. It's because your body needs energy. If you have the protein, it will keep you fuller for longer. And if you actually eat properly, you won't need to go grab a packet of crisps or a packet of biscuits, whatever the case may be, because you've given yourself enough energy to withstand what you've been doing throughout the day. Also, if you're looking to build muscle, trying to cram protein into 1 or 2 meals, all of it, let's say you've got 160 grams, for example, is quite hard. Yeah, so try and spread it out across the day. Here's an example of one of my athletes. So this is why the values are so high. So you can see like 200 grams of protein, for example. But I used this person because obviously they track consistently where they are. A high-level athlete, they are trying to track like every single day, so it gives a good example of how things can play out. So who knows how to get this up on MyFitnessPal? Who uses MyFitnessPal? Who uses MyFitnessPal 5 days a week? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, cool. So if you go onto the top of MyFitnessPal where it says your diary, it says calorie goal at the top, if you tap that, it will give you your weekly averages. So here, you've got your macronutrient weekly average, and here is your calorie weekly average. As you can see with this person, they've more or less hit their weekly averages with their goals, okay? This is another thing you can do, and we're going to speak about this in a second, is that let's say, for example, Monday to Friday, you're really good, yeah? You know that you're going to be good, you're going to work, you've got a good routine, but Saturday comes along, you know, Saturday night party, you might have a wedding, etc., whatever the case may be, you want to be able to enjoy yourself, then you can save a few calories throughout the week. And we've spoken about this before, those that have done the seminars here. What's this approach called? Anybody know? Weekend warrior, yeah, okay? So most people these days are a bit weekend warriors, right? Is they'll be good Monday to Friday, but you want to enjoy life. Like go out, go on holiday, whatever the case may be. And that's absolutely fine, but make sure you're accountable for it. So in the week, Monday to Friday, instead of having your total goal, drop it a little bit. Save yourself some calories at the weekend. And then if you do have a couple beers, which are like 300 calories a pint, or you do have that piece of cake or pizza, whatever the case may be, it's okay because you've saved yourself, you've banked it throughout the week, okay? So this will help as well. So these are all little tips and tricks that you can do that will help you. However, if you don't track, you're not going to know this, yeah? So that goes back to that mindset thing. And what I'm going to discuss now, yes, I'm going to discuss now, is the main thing people say to me when it comes to tracking is, I don't have time. Now, look, I understand that we're all very busy. We've all got businesses, we've all got work commitments, got a family, etc., and I understand that. However, I do promise if you stick up with it, it does get easier. So time being the main issue. However, when I speak to people in their sessions, they also tell me about how much, you know, they go on Instagram or Facebook, for example. Whoever looks at their screen time. That realistic, let's be honest with you. And this goes back to that mindset. If you actually sit with yourself like, right, I haven't tracked, haven't got the results I wanted, you know, and you make an excuse to your trainer like, I haven't got enough time, yeah? Go onto your phone and check your screen time. I guarantee you're spending a lot of time on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, whatever the case may be. Also, a lot of people like to talk to me about series. That is the favourite topic of conversation when we are in the session. Oh, you watching any good series recently? Yeah, Peaky Blinders has been brilliant. Did 4 hours at the weekend. Great, that's fine, watch Peaky Blinders for 4 hours. But then, are you set up for next week? Yeah? So think to yourself.
Can I just say that, I mean, once you've been doing for a little bit,
Yeah.
you'll often eat the same meal. So if you've saved
Yeah.
the meal, then, you know, once you've been doing it for a few weeks, it's a lot quicker and a lot
Yes.
easier. Plus you can scan barcodes for,
Yeah.
you know, the content of food as well.
Exactly, like Greg was saying, there's a lot of things on MyFitnessPal that help you out. So the more you use it, the smarter it will be. It will save your meals. Like for me, I don't have to put my breakfast anymore because I usually have the same breakfast. It comes up straight away. I can just pop it in, it's done. And Suzanne's going to speak to you about little tips of how that will make it easier as well. But think to yourself, do you not have time or could you make time? Yeah? If you really want it, you'll find a way. If you don't want it, you'll find an excuse. If you do it properly and you get used to it, it takes about 5-10 minutes. Yeah? And what Suzanne will speak about is how to make that quicker as well. What's the next slide going to be on? Suzanne's up now.
Hello. Right. Probably the most important thing that you are going to listen to today is going to be these next 2 slides. So everything that you've heard so far And everything that you hear after here is not going to work unless you are organised. Anyone that's done my lifestyle overview chats with me will know how much I will emphasise meal prepping, being organised and planning, because if you're not organised and you're not planning, it's not going to happen. Strapline, our favourite strapline, fail to plan, plan to fail. There you go, in those 6 words. So basically, meal prepping puts you in charge, okay? Puts you in charge of what you're eating, puts you in charge of counting your calories, helps to control what you're eating, okay? Have breakfast prepared. So possibly the night before, say you wanted to do overnight oats, make sure that you do that the night before, it's in the fridge. Think about what you're having. Make sure that you've got stuff prepared or in your fridge already. So say, I know, on a Sunday, let's think for the week ahead, okay? You're going to think, what am I going to have for breakfast? Make sure that you've got those foods in. What am I going to have for lunch? Make it easy, make it simple. If you're tracking, you don't want to make things hard for yourself because it's difficult to track. So you might say, possibly for the first week, right, I'm going to have tuna salad 2 or 3 times. I'm going to have, I don't know, roast a chicken on a Sunday, cut that chicken up, you've got 3 or 4 portions. Easy to weigh because you're in charge, you're at home and you can do it and you pre-prepare your meals. You can have 2 or 3 of the same meals, possibly for 1 week, then vary it up, have 2 or 3 meals the following week and change it around. And if you bulk cook, say on a Sunday, on a Monday, whenever it might be, if you're going to do possibly a casserole, a curry, or, like I said, roasted chicken or something like that, make enough for 3 or 4 meals. Make enough. Stick it in the freezer for next week. All right? Make your life easier. Okay? And also, you can eat cleaner because you're in charge again. All right? For all of you guys that are going to work and you've got prep round the corner, or you've got Costa, you've got a million trillion things out there. If you are going into the office and you don't prepare anything for lunch and you're going to go out, right? You're going to go to Pret and you're going to look at it, you're going to go, oh, I should have that salad, but I really want that. Whatever that might be. Have I finished? Should I go? So by preparing your foods beforehand, okay, puts you in charge of the vegetables that you can have, all your vitamins, your minerals, all your nutrients. It puts you in charge of your tracking because you track your portions. If you're going out, sometimes it's difficult to track. All right, you're in charge. Next slide. Okay. First tip, make a list. All right, don't go into Sainsbury's, Tesco's, wherever, and just think, oh my God, what should I eat? What should I eat? Oh, I'll have that, I'll have one of those, I'll have a couple of those. Make a list, okay? Because if you make a list, then you're planning, all right? And if you're planning, then you're going to have better results. Okay, set aside a day and time to cook. Right, we're all busy, okay? You do not want to be cooking when you're coming in from work at 7, 8 at night because you're going to be knackered. And if you're knackered, you're going to be thinking, oh, God, really can't be bothered. You're going to get a meal out, I don't know, maybe a pre-prepared meal. You might think, do you know what, I'll order in, because why wouldn't you? It is so easy to order in. These are the things that are going to really sort of put you off balance, okay? They're the things that are going to mess you up. Maybe on a Sunday, you might say to yourself, I'm going to give myself half an hour or so, and I'm going to roast a chicken. That's 2 or 3 meals. I'm going to steam a whole bunch of vegetables. I'm going to make a massive big salad, stick it in the fridge. And then for the times that you are busy, from Monday to Friday, it's there for you. So you've got a protein source. Connor's mentioned how good protein is. Protein source with every meal. So you've got a protein source ready. You get your salad. You stick it all in your Tupperware boxes, which is... Oh, no, it's not, but it's in there somewhere. And you've got everything to hand, OK? Again, don't try and necessarily prepare for the entire week, because that's a mountain, isn't it? Just do a couple of days or 2 or 3 days at a time. And as already mentioned, it's your mindset, all right? You are here to achieve something. You're all here to achieve something, whether it's fat loss, whether it's putting on muscle. It's not easy. All right, you're going to have to put yourself slightly out of your comfort zone and you're going to have to work for it. And this is the biggest part, all right? If you're not prepared, then it's going to be harder. Up your Tupperware game. So just make sure that you've got enough things to put your foods in and be able to transport them to work. And repeat meals. So although we said in the previous one, include variety for 1 week. It doesn't matter, repeat 2 or 3 lunches, then the next week do the same, because then you're not constantly cooking, okay? And it just makes your life easier. So possibly try and keep things really simple. When you're tracking, you don't want really involved casseroles and curries, maybe. I know for some people it's, you know, part of what they do eat, and sometimes it's hard to track those foods. But try and keep things simple, possibly just for the first 6 to 8 weeks when you're really trying to change your habits and get into the tracking and be a bit stricter with yourself. Just make your life a bit simple. And possibly think ahead. So we just said start small. For 2 days or 3 days, think to yourself, what am I going to eat? Put it in MyFitnessPal, all right? And then stick to your plan. All right, if you've got a plan, you're more likely to stick to it. And put the foods in. Now, if you have to slightly alter those weights, then fine, alter them, it doesn't matter, but you've got your plan. Your plan's in place. Okay, make sure that you've all got scales and that you can weigh your food, and then, you know, you're going to be on track. So just remember, fail to plan, plan to fail. That's all I've got to say to you, really.
Okay, hi guys, I'm Sejni. I've been a client here for about 6 months, but my job is a GP. So I work with NHS patients, private patients, and I have a diploma in lifestyle medicine, so it ties in a lot with getting results today. Dare I ask, how many of you find it difficult to get a GP appointment? Yeah, I'm looking at all the hands. How many of you, when you actually get a GP appointment, feel that you can have enough time to talk about what you want to talk about? Yeah, so without turning this into a venting session, I, as a GP in the NHS, found the exact same thing. So this is why I've gone to lifestyle medicine. So if you don't know what lifestyle medicine is, essentially it's using these 6 pillars that are up on the screen. So nutrition, exercise, which we've spoken about, stress, which Satara's going to talk about a little bit, smoking, alcohol, healthy relationships, and sleep, which is what I'm going to focus on today. I do believe that if you actually get all 6 of these right, and we can't get them all right all the time, you can prevent disease, but you can actually reverse long-term diseases like diabetes, high cholesterol. So for the purposes of today, I'm just going to talk about sleep. There's so much I could talk about sleep, but I'm going to keep it quite short. I'm not even going to go into this slide. The reason I've put this up there is if you are sleep deprived, it literally affects every organ in your body. So you can read all of these, but essentially every part of you is going to be affected. So this looks kind of overcomplicated. I'm just going to simplify it. You might have heard of circadian rhythm. This is basically your body clock. It's your sleep-wake cycle. So the SCN, which you can see up there, you don't need to know the name, is your master clock. And all that happens is it's mainly affected by light and dark. So in the morning, it's light. That tells your SCN to tell all the other organs it's daytime, and that sets you up for the day. And then when it gets darker, the PG, which you can see up there, again, the name is irrelevant, that secretes melatonin. So how many of you know what melatonin is? A few hands. Can anyone say what? Yeah? Yeah, so melatonin, you'll see people prescribe it. You can buy it over the counter in most countries, sometimes here. So actually, one of the reasons I don't prescribe melatonin a lot is because your body makes it. It is irrelevant to buy things that you can naturally kind of change. So melatonin is secreted because of darkness, right? So it becomes night, darkness, and you get the melatonin. So this is basically how your sleep-wake cycle works in simple terms. So what actually happens when we sleep? We've got 4 stages of sleep. Again, you don't need to know all the definitions, but you start in stage 1, which is like when you're drifting off, you're like light to dark, deep sleep. It takes about 5 minutes, and then you go through to stage 2, 3, and 4. Stages 1 to 3 are known as non-REM sleep, and stage 4 is known as REM sleep. Does anybody know what REM stands for? Rapid eye movement, exactly. The reason it's called that is literally, so stage 4 is your deepest stage of sleep. It's literally called that because when you're in deep sleep, even though your eyelids are closed, your eyes are rapidly moving from side to side. Stage 4 and REM sleep is the most important part of sleep. So this is when you have changes to your heart rate, your breathing, your muscles are in their most relaxed state, and this is where you form memory and learning, and it affects your mental health. So why am I bothering to tell you all of this today here at ADC is most of you are here, as Connor mentioned, for probably one of two reasons. You either want to boost your muscle mass or you want to lose weight, or both. Obviously, there are many other benefits, but those are the kind of the two broad reasons. When you come and train, you are lifting weights, and what you're actually doing is creating little micro tears in the fibers of your muscles. To actually increase your muscle mass, that muscle has to repair. And that happens when you rest and recover and sleep. So you can do all the training, but actually, if you're not getting good quality sleep, that's what's going to really boost your muscle mass. In your REM sleep, so that deep stage we talked about, growth hormone is released, and that's what boosts your muscle mass. So repair is the most important part of this. If you're here for weight loss, then again, there's loads of hormones written up there that some of you have probably heard of. But if you're sleep deprived, essentially your metabolism slows down. So your BMR is already going to be slower. If you've heard of, has anyone heard of Ghrelin, the hormone up there? Ghrelin is your hunger hormone. So when you're sleep deprived, your body's going to produce more ghrelin. You're going to wake up, you're going to be hungrier. All throughout the day, your appetite's going to increase. You're probably going to make bad choices. That's when you get the bad cravings. Leptin, on the other hand, is just the hormone that makes you feel full, so you have less of that. Cortisol, does anyone know what cortisol? Have you heard of that? So that's your stress hormone. I think Satara's going to talk a little bit about stress, but it's essentially the hormone that prepares your body for fight or flight. In the short term, that's not a bad thing, but if your cortisol continues to increase, again, your appetite increases, your cravings increase, and it actually promotes fat storage around the abdominal area. So you're not going to see those results. Or you might be getting good results, but you're not reaching your peak because your sleep is not correct. So how to actually improve your sleep? I'm going to focus mainly on this slide. So if you remember, I said the sleep-wake cycle, your whole body clock is affected by loads of things, your nutrition, temperature, but light is the most important. So if you're going to take anything away from these next few minutes, focus on this. So the one tip I would say is you need light within the first 1 to 2 hours of waking up to tell your body that it's daytime. So your sleep tips start from the minute you wake up. It's not just about what you do at night. So if you can go out for a walk within 1 to 2 hours, you're going to reset that cycle. Obviously, nighttime matters, so you want it to be completely dark in your bedroom, so you have blackout blinds, eye masks, anything to avoid light coming in. The bottom one, I won't talk about too much. We're probably all guilty of this. Try and avoid screen time because you've all heard of blue light. Blue light, what it actually does is it stops melatonin production. Okay, so that's why you're not feeling sleepy. There's actually been studies shown that blue light delays your melatonin production by about 90 minutes, but not just on that night, for like 2 or 3 nights after. So you're almost getting a hangover effect from your phone screen. So this is strict 1 hour plus. If I'm being really honest, I've changed my sleep just by not looking at my phone 20 minutes, so you don't have to be really rigid with this, but it does make a difference. So there's lots of other tips on here, and some of them you know, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. As well as your bedroom being dark, obviously it's important for it to be quiet, not too hot or cold. And then the rest is about routine and consistency, which is probably the theme of most of today. So try and wake up at a similar time every day. I usually give a 30-minute window because I think having one set time is difficult. Try and have a wind-down routine before bed. Again, this can be like a 10, 15-minute routine. It just needs to be enough to program your body to think this is time for me to sleep now. Associate the bedroom with sleep, so try not to work in the bedroom if you can help it. Try not to watch films in the bedroom. Try and just go up to your room to sleep. I'm not going to talk about exercise because you're all here doing PT, so there's no point. And the last one, I think, is really effective, clearing your mind. So what most people find is you know sleep's important, you get into bed at a good time, you close your eyes, and then you think about all these things that you forgot to do or you've got to do the next day. I literally keep a pen and paper next to my bed, and if there's anything I think I'm going to forget the next day, I write it down. I'll be really honest, I used to do it on my phone, which is completely counterintuitive to what I've told you, so I have switched to pen and paper, and yeah, it does help. So things to avoid, again, you probably know a lot of these. Avoid caffeine late at night. Again, no one's perfect. This is my weakness. If you see me in the fuel bar after this, don't judge me, but I'll probably be having coffee. But some people can tolerate coffee and still sleep. The difference is your quality of sleep is not going to be as good. You're probably not going to get into that REM sleep. And when I talked about those stages, going from stage 1 to 4 takes about 90 minutes, so 1 to 2 hours. As you sleep, those cycles repeat themselves. So if you're sleeping for 8 hours, you probably get about 4 cycles. And as you go through the night, the time you spend in REM sleep gets longer and longer. So if you're having not just less sleep, but poor quality sleep, you're not going to get the benefits of the REM sleep. Just a thing to say, adults spend about 20% of their sleep in REM sleep. Newborn babies spend about 80% of their sleep in REM sleep because they're obviously having all the new learning. So avoid heavy meals, alcohol 2 to 3 hours before, and smoking. I'm a GP, I have to say avoid smoking at all costs, but if you're going to smoke, at least try and take out the nighttime cigarette because nicotine's a stimulant, so that's also going to affect your sleep. And sleep anxiety, I'm not going to go into because there's a whole new topic, but try and avoid this cycle of watching the clock, so you're in bed and time is just passing. If you really can't sleep, just get up, leave the room, do something else, make yourself sleepy, and then come back. It's all about associating the bedroom with sleep. So just in like 20 seconds, I'm going to tell you what I do because we're probably running out of time. So I do lifestyle clinics. I'll be around after if anybody wants to ask me about them. But essentially, we do a full top-to-toe medical and lifestyle assessment using those 6 pillars to see where we can improve things. I do free kind of 15-minute telephone consultations beforehand just to see if you're a good fit and also if you do have medical conditions, obviously, if they need to be addressed first. And that's it. I've got my details there. I've got my business cards, and I'll be around the fuel bar later. Thank you.
Yeah, because everything's going to tie in together anyway. But we're just going to go over a few of the benefits of massage. So improving your sleep quality, what Sejani's just gone over, reducing stress, lowering muscle tension and DOMS, and improving your training performance. So what I see most of when people do come into the treatment room, is stress. And most people carry it in your upper back and neck, which is the most common problem. And even if you don't come in with it, I'm sure I'm going to find all of your knots anyway. But with that, when you are carrying stress, that's going to have a domino effect or a negative domino effect on a lot of other things and the way your body functions. So that comes with muscle tightness, which obviously is going to impact the way your body is moving. Your muscles, they're going to become tight, and like in some cases, it's going to put pressure on the nerves as well, and then you're going to be in pain. So what we're trying to do is release the tension from the muscles to improve your movement in the gym as well. So also reducing injury and improving your performance. And when your body does and your muscles do become more relaxed, obviously, that's gonna then improve your quality of sleep as well. So yeah, just finishing off from what everybody has said and tying that in together. Yeah, that's what we do in the treatment room. Sorry.
Right, guys, not long left, okay? So as you can see, we're kind of doing a bit of a holistic approach. So there's multiple factors that you can do to get the results, but they all tie into one. As Tara said, it's a domino effect. The next thing we're going to speak about, and it's the last little bit, is your activity outside the gym and NEAT. Who's heard of this before? If you've trained with me, you should do. Yeah, thanks. Essentially, it's good. So your non-exercise activity, Thermogenesis, okay? So as I gave the example, think of the AGC coaches, think of how many calories we burn at work, yeah? And now think about what you do for a living and how many calories you will burn. Obviously, we've all got different jobs, we've all got different job roles, but the majority of you put your hands up for an admin job or an office job, etc., yeah? Where you're seated at a desk for long periods of time. A lot of people now, with what's happened in recent years, aren't going into the office, they're at home. So you'll spend a lot of time at a desk. For those of you that did train with me during COVID, did Zoom sessions, I noticed a big difference. Not just with like my body fat percentage, but stress, my neck, like my hips started hurting. Felt like I was breaking apart a little bit. So I couldn't really imagine me doing that for a long period of time. That's why I do this job. But if you guys, obviously if that is your job, you need to think about ways in which you can do things that are going to help you with the points that we've raised today. So examples of this and how to accelerate your fat loss and your overall health. So who here does 8 to 10K steps a day? Yeah, cool. Not bad, okay, a few of us, but not everybody, yeah? So if you're somebody, like I said, that is a little bit more sedentary with your work or your lifestyle in general, and you don't have a job like myself, you can see I'm getting my steps in now. If you don't have the job where you can do that, think of times where you can. Obviously in England, I know the weather's not great, but it goes back to that mindset, how bad do you want it? Could you go for a 5-10 minute walk when the weather's not bad at lunchtime, yeah, during your lunch break? And little things will help you along the way. Like I spoke about earlier, majority of people do 2, maybe 3 sessions in a gym per week, and everybody works hard, yeah? I've seen most of the people here now at ADC, and obviously I watch the coaches. I know the coaches train you all hard, so there's no denying that you train hard when you're here, but when you're outside the gym, what are you doing? There's about 164 hours in the week, or 167, whatever the maths is. Think about what you're doing for the rest of those hours. Is 2 hours really going to equate to the rest of the time that you are seated, or you are, you know, maybe chilling out in the evening on the sofa, etc.? Yeah, so what are you doing outside of the gym to really boost your results? Because a lot of people say to me, oh, I've got a holiday in June. Let's say I'm going to Larnaca, or Limassol, most people do, right? So if it is that case, are you doing everything you can to really reach towards that goal? Not just in the gym, but outside the gym as well. How many people come to adrenaline class, like Chris asked earlier? Hands up. Cool. So if you haven't done the adrenaline class, think to yourself, could I do a class? This is something that is offered within your package, yeah? So you guys obviously pay for ADC, you're paying for the PT sessions, but this is part of it, so use it. I'm not just saying that to promote the classes. I think even if you go to a gym, wherever the case may be, or you train outside, let's say you put a YouTube video on, or you get one of the coaches send you a video to do at home, and you can follow along to one of our sessions at home, this will help you boost your calorie burn, your energy output, like we spoke about earlier. Another thing, little tips, and these are loads of little tips you can do as well, take the stairs. So for those of you who do commute to the office, when you see that great big escalator and everyone's just standing there like this, and they're going up, take the stairs, yeah, walk, get the more steps in. The more energy you burn throughout the day, the better your results are going to be. Yeah, and there's tons of little tips like this. So please ask the coaches after, think about what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, but question us, okay? How can I get better results? What am I doing? Everybody take a look at your sheet now, if you've done it. Have a look at your sheet, and like I said to you about the mindset earlier, out of all of those things, are all the boxes ticked. So what we've spoken about today, that holistic approach, you can now see, this is why we gave you it out. For those of you who haven't done it, Baz will give you one to fill out. Take it home, stick it on your fridge, stick it on your door, whatever the case may be, but think to yourselves, okay, if you're not getting the results you want, have you ticked all of these points, yeah? So if you haven't tracked your calories, if you haven't eaten your protein goal, if you haven't got your steps in, if your sleep's not great, yeah, these are the things you can improve upon. And like Suzanne said, it's not easy, yeah? This isn't an easy, quick fix where you can do it overnight or in 6 weeks' time. This does take time. But if you change your lifestyle on these things, I honestly believe it is for the better. Not just to look good, but to have a better, healthier lifestyle as well. I guarantee if you put these things into place, you will feel a lot better. As most of you know, I've got to get up really early to get here for the gym, so I've got to have a bedtime. But for me, having that bedtime, I feel so much better, rather than what I was doing in the past, like going to bed 11, 12, 1, whatever the case may be, not really having that, my routines all over the place. And as you said about the sleep, it was affecting me and my health. So to bring it all together, okay, nearly there, last few bits. Calories are king, protein is queen. You'll hear me say this before. Protein is going to affect your BMR. We all know what BMR is now, so how you can change your body to burn more calories throughout the day. That's why we emphasize strength training so much, because the more muscle you have, the more calories you're going to burn. As Suzanne said, poor planning equals poor performance, okay? So try and plan ahead. In terms of the tracking, a lot of people will get to the end of the day, like, who's tracked today? Well done, okay? Who's going to track later on? Anybody? Right. If you haven't tracked today and you're going to track later on, what you'll find is you've probably not reached your goals. You've probably not hit your calorie goal, and you've definitely not hit your protein goal, yeah? So let's say, little task for you all, if you all really want to get the results, tonight when you get home, track for tomorrow. And that sounds a bit weird. I'm going to track tomorrow. Think about it. Think ahead. So what are you going to have for breakfast? Have you got your breakfast ready? What are you going to have for lunch? Are you going to go out and eat, like Suzanne said, at Pret, or one of the fancy bars we've got down here at the moment, which I'm a little bit guilty of. Sushi's going through the roof at the moment. But think to yourself, like, have I got these things ready? Yeah, because if you haven't got these things ready, if you haven't made your lunch, haven't made your breakfast, probably not going to eat breakfast, probably going to have a crap lunch. Yeah, have you got your dinner ready? And these things, if you do it, will actually save you time as well. I meal prep my food Sunday for the next 3 days. So my lunch is sorted, I ain't got to worry about it. Again, I haven't got to spend extra money at the sushi place either. Quality sleep, so as Sejni says, 7+ hours. Emphasis on quality. So if you're somebody that watches TV in the bedroom before we go to sleep or on the phone, etc., I know it's a bit weird us, speaking to you guys, you're all grown adults, about your sleep routine, but hands up if you've got children. Yeah, whose children's got a bedtime? Most people's, right? Why does your children have a bedtime, but not yourself? Yeah, your children has a bedtime because it's good for you, needs to be energized for the next day, etc., etc. So why aren't you doing that for yourself? Yeah. Next one, reduce stress, whether that be getting a massage, going for a walk, taking your time, turning off the work phone a little bit, whatever it may be, these things will help you with a domino effect to the other things that we're speaking about, such as quality sleep or your training performance. And lastly, increase activity. So whether that's doing a HIIT class with us, walking the dog more, getting your steps in, taking the kids out to go have a kickabout in the park, whatever it is, I guarantee if you do these things, you will get the results, okay? And be honest with yourself. Like we spoke about that mindset, tonight, really think about it is, you say to your coaches, for example, like, yes, really ready for it, got this holiday coming up, I'm going to do all these things, but think to yourself, is this consistent? And I guarantee you, if you're consistent with these things, you will get the results, okay? We're going to have a quick Q&A. So if anybody does have some burning questions I need to ask the coaches, other coaches can get involved as well, because I've done a lot of speaking. Ask them now. If not, come and grab us afterwards. We're going to be about for a little bit. We've got to put the gym back together, so please feel free to ask us. Anybody got any questions right now? Yes.
It was actually for Sejani. You said the phone and blue light. Yeah. Now you can change that light setting. Does that make a difference, or is that still?
It probably makes a little bit of difference. So blue light glasses, there's a filter on your phone. Obviously avoiding it is going to be the best thing. But yeah, a little bit of difference according to studies I've heard.
How do you figure out your BMR?
We do it for you.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there we go. So we've done the job. In terms of your BMR, this is based off your weight and your current energy expenditure. So we calculate it, based on the research from your weight. We work out how many times you're training a week. So obviously, if you're training 3 times a week, you can have a little bit more calories. Yeah. If you check your nutrition plan, this will be done for you, and your coach will sometimes manipulate this depending if you've lost a lot of weight, for example, if you gained some weight, etc. Okay. But we do that for you. So on your nutrition plans, I would advise everybody to go back and read their nutrition plans again, and then read it again now that you know this. Yeah, I know some of you already know it, and etc. You've done these seminars before, but for those of you who haven't or you're new to ADC, I do suggest you go back through it with this in mind, and then everything will kind of make a little bit more sense to you as well. Anything else? All good? That means you've done a good job. Cool, perfect. Right, guys, thank you very much. Yeah. Tom, sorry, my man, forgot about you. Right, lastly, similar to Sejni and linking this in, Tom is a doctor's office, ologist, would you say? Yep, cool. And he's going to speak about what your offers as well. I do think this is beneficial because it can really find out what's going on with your body. But I'll let Tom do the explaining this after you, my man.
Right, guys, my name's Tom. Very, very quick introduction. I'm a physiologist, sports scientist, massage therapist, a bit of everything. At the moment, what I do is I do a lot of the medicals for British Transport Police, Ministry of Defence, firefighters, prison service guards, all that kind of stuff. So I do that full-time at the moment, but I've also got my own business and working with Chris as well doing medicals. So you must have been to like a Bupa or seen Bupa, things like that, and had, you know, those little MOT health checks, things like that. I do the exact same thing, except I'm affordable. So one of the biggest things that I noticed when I was training, as well as, you know, seeing you guys, was that health isn't as affordable as it needed to be, in my opinion. So what we decided to do is essentially create everything that, you know, these guys do, put it all in one package and create a holistic approach. You've got the exercise, you've got the nutrition, you've got the mindfulness, you know, everything that Sejan was saying, the sleep, everything, you know, all in one package. And what we do is we do MOT health checks, so like personal medical assessments. They incorporate over about 20 different variables, including things like body composition, so your body fat percentage, more specifically, what is inside your body. We do 2 different types of measurements. One is called bioelectrical impedance, which is like a little small electrical current that gets sent around your body. And the other is skin fold calipers. We do lung function, blood tests, finger prick blood tests, risk of type 2 diabetes, cholesterol. I can go on and on. I'm not going to bore you. I'll be around again if you guys want to have a little chat about anything specifically, but it takes about an hour. It's sort of like I said, a holistic approach, a holistic MOT health check. I've got leaflets as well, so you guys are more than welcome to take those home with you. And the idea is that we're working with the personal trainers as well, so that we can combine everything into your training. Most of you will be training with one PT or another. The idea is that we can get as much information on you as possible, put them in, you know, to one big approach and just help you achieve your goals. You know, make sure that you guys are staying accountable for yourselves and get you the results that you need. And that is all from me. All right? Fantastic.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. If you've got any questions for any of us, just let us know. We're here to help as always. Use your WhatsApp chat as well. You've all got your private chats. Fire away. We're always there, available to kind of answer any questions. I hope you all enjoyed today, and yeah, we'll be about for the next half an hour. So if you have got any questions for us, let us know. Yeah, all right, thank you guys, and see you soon.